Everyone, Alon Mizrahi here. This is the Mizrahi perspective. In my last video, I said I was going to leave YouTube, and I had just one more video to make before I'm leaving. But tonight I woke up at 4 a.m., like I think many of you, many of us do almost every night. And I woke up and I had this clear understanding of something I have to say. And this is how I create much of my content. I wake up and I know what I need to talk about, and I know what needs to be talked about. Call this crazy. This is how I operate. I almost don't have a plan or a schedule for things I'm gonna write. I just know when I do. This is how I do things. And this morning I woke up and I said, remember this piece of content that you wanted to create of Palestine against Palantir. This is the right day to do it. Do it today. So I'm doing this today. I still have one more big, fat video to make, which will be on YouTube as well. And it's going to be my last video on YouTube for a long time. This last big, fat video is going to be about the Mizrahi perspective and my story and how I became who I am, where I started, and the way I'm made to be where I am. And it is going to be also at the same time about the Mizrahi perspective, the story of Arab Jews, and the political perspective, the lost political perspective of Arab Jews in Zionism. This is my next video. I'm going to make it, I hope, this weekend. If life doesn't interrupt, which can always happen, as we know. But what I want to talk about today is this message that woke me up. The Palestine against Palantir. And I think that this needs to be said, and I think that people need to hear it, because this crystallizes and purifies where we are at this moment in history, at this moment in time. Remember, this is history. We experience this as our daily lives. It's something that is just happening in the world. This is history. And this is a crucial moment in history. And this is a beautiful moment in history, despite the immense pain it brings us. And it is a beautiful moment because it gives us a choice. It gives us a choice. And this is part of the beauty of life. There is always a choice. You can always choose how to look at things, what things mean, how you respond, how you react, how you interpret. And what you decide things mean really informs and creates who you are. Because this is who we are. This is what we are. The way we respond to things, the way we feel about things, the way we think about things, this is who we are. In my last video I mentioned the fact that this community of resistors, people who see themselves as a cultural opposition, a cultural resistance to what Zionism and its Western collaborators are doing to Palestinians. I said this is a community that was created organically, naturally, spontaneously. No algorithm and no government plan brought us together. Our choice, who we are as human beings, brought us together. And I want to talk about this a little more because this is so crucial. This is what everything hangs on. This is everything. The choice that we need to make between Palestine and Palantir, because this is the choice that we are now facing. And there's no in between. There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground. People who think they can just lay low and just watch Netflix and go to work, they have already been swallowed by the machine, which I choose to call Palantir because this is now the most perfect representation of what this system means, this techno-fascism, white, Western, Christian, Judeo-Christian colonialism, capitalism, this vicious machine that wants to swallow and destroy all of us and control and subjugate and dominate. We have this system on one side, on the other side, we have Palestine. This is what the struggle for Palestine means on a broader philosophical, cultural level. This is what Palestine stands for. A community like us was not supposed to happen according to their models. In a world completely dominated and controlled and directed by algorithms, we were only supposed to be interested in fashion, celebrities, reality TV, all this idiocy, all this noise that is really the soundtrack of our domination and subjugation and destruction. In a world controlled by Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, Palestine resistance was not supposed to happen, but it did happen. It did happen. It did happen because humanity cannot be overcome. The machine, the system cannot defeat humanity. No system can. But they are ambitious. They think that now, because they have these vast computers and data centers and AI and all these and cameras and sensors and all this bullshit, they think they can move, make the final step in overtaking humanity. All of it, all of us. And when I say all of it, I don't just mean all of us in terms of numbers. I mean all of it, all of humanity stands for. Everything humanity stands for. Our entire psychology, our emotional capacity, all of it, our memory, everything that makes us who we are and allows us to act and react and participate in life and be political and be moral and be humane. This is what they aim to take over with Palantir. This is the fight now. And the Palestine movement, the Palestine resistance, which was created as a response, as a reaction to this unending horror that we witness every day. In essence, this is what it seeks to do, to counter this movement, this aspiration on behalf of the system to take over everything. This is what Palestine asks us to be, asks us to do. When we are shown a picture of a dying or a dead child or a baby, life is asking us a very direct question, a very direct question. Life is asking us through Palestine, what is the meaning of the life of a child? What is the meaning of the life of a baby? What is the meaning? It is asking us that every day. The system wants to say it has no value. It has no value. They want a world where only Palantir, where only the system defines and assigns value and meaning to everything. They will decide if life has any value. The life of any of us and every one of us. This is why they are defending this genocide, this Holocaust, so ferociously. They are fighting for control over the meaning of everything and everyone. And they want to destroy us. They want to destroy our ability to say life has value. The life of a Palestinian child has value. The life of native people has value. The life of brown people, the life of Muslim people has value. They don't want us to say that. This is why they're defending the Holocaust. Not only because they are racists and colonizers and sadists and psychopaths, they want control over the entire world of meaning and value. This is what they are really after. This is why they cannot truly condemn what Israel is doing. They are one with Israel. Western establishments, they are one with Israel. They are one entity. They want total control. And Palestine came to us as a gift at this moment in history, before the machines take over. Because this is where we are. In a year or two, or maybe less, they will be able to monitor and dictate what we do and where we are and how we are and who we interact with in real life through their machines. They are already doing that. They are already doing that. Palestine came to us as a gift, as a call of life, analog life, meaningful life, real life, authentic life. Life that has value, not because it was given value by some scientist in a lab, but because it was created, because it exists, because it has intrinsic value. They don't want that. What they are trying to do with their Palantir, with this system, with techno-fascism, is to recreate existence, human existence in a lab, fully controlled, always monitored, directed all the time, manipulated, subjugated, castrated, limited. This is what they are after. And this is what Palestine stands against. This is what Palestine stands against. And when millions of people are taking to the streets and hold Palestine signs, this is what they feel. They want to remain human. They want all life to have value. They don't want to be subjugated by a system of robots and machines and algorithms and cameras and sensors. They want to be free. They want to have dignity. They want to have agency. Without agency, what are we even? What are we without agency? Without the license and permission to judge, to say what is right and what is wrong? What are we? But they want to deny us this ability. They want to deny us agency. What is this if not tyranny? When you're not allowed to have your opinion about political phenomena that's happening now at this current moment, when you're not allowed to have your opinion and you're not allowed to express your opinion because you'll be censored and bullied and persecuted. What is this? They are trying to domesticate and tame us and create a new breed of humanity, a new breed of human being, one that never challenges authority and has no power and cannot even imagine to rebel against the system, against Palantir, against this all-invasive system of surveillance and manipulation and direction and subjugation. Palestine comes to us and tells us life has value. A child has value. Fatherhood has value. Motherhood has value. Family has value. Community has value. Land has value. History has value. Culture has value. Not assigned by algorithms and robots and systems, assigned by people, assigned by life, assigned by nature. This is what the struggle for Palestine means. This is what it means for every one of us. If we get it or if we don't, this is what it means. It is either Palantir or Palestine. Either humanity retains its agency, its dignity, its morality, its humanity, or it loses all of it. Either we rebel against this attempt to make us into farm animals, fully controlled at all times, or this is what we become. Not humanity and not spontaneous life, but an experiment in a lab, a big lab that they are creating. Palestine came to us as a gift. And every child that dies in Gaza needs to make us stronger in this conviction, because this is what they died for. This is what they died for, to liberate us. To liberate us. And I need to end this video with something about colonialism. The Western colonial system has reached the end of its days. It can see its end. It is panicked. It is panicking. It doesn't know what to do. But it cannot stop this instinct, this impulse to control, to dominate, to take over, to exploit, to humiliate for no reason. Just out of impulse, out of instinct. They don't know what else they can do. They can't do anything else. This is all they know how to do. And this is part of the explanation why they are forming this insane surveillance state encapsulated in Palantir. because they cannot expand anymore into new territory, because they cannot take over new people. They cannot do this anymore. They cannot expand and take over China. They cannot expand and take over Russia. They cannot expand and take over Iran. They cannot take over Yemen. They don't have the energy. The enemies of the West are now stronger than the West. The West cannot expand into new territory. What they are doing now is self-cannibalization. They are now colonizing Western people who are already part of the system, who grew up in this system. Americans, British people. The Western system is colonizing and recolonizing them, and increases the volume of surveillance, of monitoring. They are giving all the information of NHS in Britain to Palantir. Why? What is the reason for such a deranged move? People need a doctor who sees them and treats them like a human being. A robot is going to take care of you from Palantir? They cannot control themselves. They have to continue. It's like a monster that has one leg in a trap. So it can't walk and it can't advance any further. Still it tries to bite itself or destroy whoever comes close to it. This is where the West is at right now. And this is the point. We should not agree. We should not agree to let them take over, to allow ourselves to become this weak, controlled, tame version of ourselves, which is not even human anymore. This is the time to stand with Palestine and stand more and shout harder and do more. Because Palestine means life and Palantir means death. And we need to choose life. Thank you.